I was pulled over by a police officer, which isn't out of the normal. So you're probably like, how is this your luckiest day ever? Because what I did was really stupid. And I take full blame for that. I was an idiot. I don't want to spoil much more. I want you to hear the whole story because it is quite funny how it all played out. But I also do have an update to the whole thing because I'm recording this about 2.5 weeks after that story happened. And some things have taken place since then, which I will update at the end of the video. But I also have another announcement. This is 2,000 pounds of flooring. And what happened is my apartment flooded. Well, I need new flooring, and I'm not going to have the time to do it off stream. So I'm announcing a 50-hour streaming marathon starting March 28th, where we are not going to end the stream until all of my flooring is installed. I have never done this before, so hopefully it goes well. Enjoy the story. Bye. This story, I might genuinely be the luckiest person alive. Friday night, I was going to help my grandmother fix her new phone. She ended up buying a smartwatch that wasn't compatible with her like 5-year-old phone or whatever. So she ended up needing to get a new phone, and she just needed help getting that new phone set up. And I was like, oh, I drove there immediately after work. Okay. I just was like, I'm done. I'm just going to head straight to my grandmother's house. She lives actually in like a senior home. And I was just like, I'm just going to get this done and then go back home so that way I could stream Friday night. Actually, let me back up. I forgot one very important thing about this story that will come into play later. Okay. It was the fact that I had just bought that ray gun. Okay. I showed you guys last Friday. I had this. I bought this ray gun last week. It showed up at work because that's the only place I can really order a package. I like had it in my back seat. So I'm driving, I'm like racing to my grandmother's. All of a sudden, some asshole is like tailgate, just like right on my ass as I'm driving. And I'll be a little honest. I may have been above the speed limit. So in my mind, I am a little bit above the speed limit. And now some jackass is tailgating me. I'm like, just go around me. If you're not happy with how fast I'm driving, just go around me. So I even do it like, you know, not a brake check, but I let off the gas a little bit. So that way I like slow down, trying to be like, just go, just get past me. I don't care. He doesn't. Stays right on my ass the whole time. I end up driving about another 90 seconds and he's following me. I did like a right turn, another quick right turn, a left turn, and then like one more really quick right. And then it was just down a long road. At the end was the senior home. And I'm like, okay, is he like gonna kill me? Like, is this guy now just like, is it road rage? Is my thoughts. Whatever. I grew up in a town. I'm not afraid of some road rage. I was packing in the back seat. Anyways, I park in front of the senior home. As soon as I hit the park button on my car, he rolls up behind me, blocking my car in. And now I'm actually like, okay, what is gonna happen? Woo! It was a cop. So now I'm sitting there in the car in front of a senior home, and it's 6:30 at night. So all the seniors are asleep, and now there was a quick little whoop whoop in front of their building. Okay? And the bright lights are flashing. So of course they're all going on their balcony looking at me now. The officer just strolls up. It's pouring rain, so I can't even see him walking up beside me. He looks at me and he goes, "Do you have your license?" I'm like, yeah, sure. So I like start pulling out my license. Of course, because I'm tired, I'm like a little bit like, oh my God, I got pulled over. It takes me a bit to like get it out of my pocket, right? As I'm like struggling for it, he's like, "Do you know why I was following you?" And I just looked him dead in the eye. I was like, no. I had no idea. He's like, "Did you know I was following you?" I was like, yeah, kind of made me a little upset. I thought you were tailgating me. Being a little bit of an asshole, okay? Because I was in a bad mood. I didn't even care anymore. He said, "Do you know how fast you were going?" And I said, no. I genuinely did not know how fast I was going. He looks at me and he says, "Well, I clocked you at 110. The road was 60. For my American friends, that is the equivalent of 70 in a 35. I will not lie. I genuinely had no idea I was going that fast. And I looked at him and I let out just a sigh of, he's like, "I do need to see your license though, because I think there's something else wrong. And I was like, what could be worse? There's no excuse, by the way. I was an idiot. I should not have been going that fast. I genuinely didn't know. And that's 100% on me. I'm a fucking moron. Okay? I am a fucking idiot. I pull out my license and I give it to him. And he looks at me and he goes, "Yep, that's what I thought. Your license expired 4 months ago." Show us the ankle bracelet. I'm not on house arrest, okay? License or car registration. My driver's license was expired for 4 months. And then it clued in. He looked back at the building. And of course he sees the army of boomers that are on their balcony now, looking at his car in front of their building, disturbing their sleep. He looks back at me and he goes, "Why the hell are you here? This is a senior home." And I was like, I was just trying to get here relatively quick so I could help my grandma set up her phone. And so that way I could just like go home. It was a long day. I'm going away for the weekend. It's just like, I wanted to kind of just get this done. He gives me back my license and he looks at me and he goes, "I'm going to let you off with a warning." Dude, my heart, chat, the moment he said those words, I was like, no way. I was like, holy shit. After he does that, okay, he looks at me and he's like, "You can just go help your grandma. Do whatever you need to after that. I legally have to tell you, you are not allowed to drive this vehicle. But I am going to leave before you, and I won't know what happens after that." I was like, what does this cop mean by this? I was like, that's crazy. I think there was one of two reasons why he ultimately let me off. I think number one was we were at a senior home. So like my story kind of held true that I was just trying to get there quickly. And obviously I don't think he wanted to be a disturbance anymore to like all the people there. And number two, I think it was just pouring rain. Like he genuinely didn't want to stand outside and like deal with this. I think he was just like, whatever. I think he's actually just a big Boca fan. He's like, "I'm a tier 3 sub, bro." As he's walking back to his car, I can hear the feet do like the classic, like, as it stops. You know, you stop and do a quick 180 turn. And I was like, oh God, what is happening? And I see in my rear view, like my side mirror, that he kind of looks in the back seat. And he sees this. I didn't know what was going to happen. I genuinely had no clue. But he came back up to my window. He looked at me and he said, "Are you a big Fallout fan?" First of all, I was like, what a wild question. Second of all, I now had two choices. Go along with him just to be nice and be like, "Haha, love Fallout, love that ray gun in Fallout," and then insult 20 years of history that the ray gun is. Or, after that cop just let me go, I could correct him. And I could tell him, actually, I'm a big fan of Call of Duty. And Call of Duty ray gun is completely different than the Fallout ray gun. So I look back at him and I go, "Yeah, dude, I love Fallout. It's great." He's like, "Oh, nice. Have you played Fallout 4? I was like, yeah, Fallout 4 was pretty fun." He's like, "Okay. Well, have a good rest of your night." Could you imagine if he was testing me and he was just seeing if I would agree with him? He's like, "Son, I know that's the COD ray gun. How dare you?" And then he drove away. And I went and helped my grandma with her phone. Craziest thing. And then my plan for the weekend was to drive Taylor and I to the airport. But I called my dad after and I was like, "Dude, don't want to drive. Can you drive me to the airport?" And he's like, "Okay." So he drove me to the airport and picked us up. And I have an appointment to get my license renewed before I drive into work and stuff. So my dad, when I told him this story, he's like, "Dude, you're lucky as fuck." I was like, yeah, I am. I got very, very lucky. I got very, very lucky. So what's the update? Well, 2.5 weeks later, I now have my driver's license. It's been fully renewed. I'm actually just waiting for it to ship in the mail, and I got like the temporary piece of paper while I wait. But I can't help but feel really guilty still. I don't know what it is about it, but there was something about this interaction that made me realize how lucky I got with this. And it's something that I've taken for granted, I think, when driving. I've never really paid attention to my speed. I live in an area where everyone goes over the speed limit by a stupid amount. There's a road near here that is 80, but nobody goes less than 120 on it. And that's just something that I've done in my past just to keep up with traffic. So the things I have changed is I've definitely tried to be more mindful of my speed, because I could have put someone in danger, and I fully acknowledge that. I've had people from my high school class pass away due to speeding. And in terms of the financial aspect of not having to pay for a ticket, I have decided to take what the amount of a ticket costs. So if I had actually received that ticket, and I'm going to donate it here to a local mental health home, just that way the money is gone from my pocket. So that way, at least I hopefully learned a little bit of a lesson from this. And I would really encourage every single one of you to just be a little bit more mindful of your speed. Thanks for watching.